Well, Mark Robertson, you were given the privilege of taking our first ever training session here at Plough Lane. How does it feel to be out here now today as head coach?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, obviously we've had sessions here before, Rob, but I'm doing it in a different capacity now. So yeah, it feels really, really special, and I've loved it, really enjoyed it.
Have you had any interesting messages from around the football world?
It hasn't stopped. I think I've told you I always had a thing with the academy where I said, you must always reply to people. Don't ever not reply to people, in terms of good manners, and you might miss a missed opportunity. So they were all laughing because they said, Robbo, you're going to reply to everyone. So literally after it was announced, it was just all afternoon. But no, it was overwhelming, from people I haven't heard from for years to some people would grab my number, and then people I know really well, like Stuart Cash and Terry Brown. I was on the phone Stu, unfortunately, not for long, I had to do something, but Terry, we were on the phone for about half an hour, which was great. And it just hasn't stopped really. So it's been lovely. It's been really good.
You said you've been in the changing room as well, of course, and saying to the players when you first got here. What have you said to them in terms of what they call you now?
No, I've just said, because Joe messaged me this morning and said, what do we call you? And I just said, whatever you're comfortable with. I said, I'm more than happy with Robbo. And then I could see a few of them were saying Gaffer and this, and so I just got them together and I said, listen, just call me whatever you're comfortable with. I'm more than happy with Robbo. A label's not going to define how much you respect me. What will define how much you respect me is how I treat you every day and where we go together. So I'm not into all that stuff, so I'm more than happy for Robbo.
Of course, it's a very pleasant distraction, but it's not taking your eye off the ball in terms of Saturday in Peterborough, though, has it?
No, it's that's what everything's about, and although it was really, really emotional yesterday, I need to put that to one side because we've all got a job to do, and it was a really good session. So so as lovely as it all is, and emotional it all is, our focus is, well, not just Saturday, our focus is what we do every single day.
Yeah, and in terms of focus as well, how have they responded during this period of uncertainty?
They've been good. I mean, obviously they've been coming asking if I heard, and I've just said, no, let's just carry on what we're doing, and when we find out, we find out. So I think they've just fed off of me, to be honest, because everyone and all the staff, because we've just thrown ourselves into it, they've just thrown themselves into it. So, I had a few questions the other day because it obviously felt like quite a while, and they said, Robbo, have you heard anything? But no, it's been good. It's been total focus, which has been great.
The other thing you've said to us as well, of course, in recent interviews, about being about performance in games. That's what you're looking for at the moment, yeah?
100%. I mean, you want to win football matches. You don't even have to say that. The players want to win football matches, but for me, performance is absolutely key, because that's where, if you're going to get consistent, wins, that's where it comes from, is performance. So, if you go and win, that's what I said to you after Wigan. It was obviously it's great to get 3 points, but analysing the performance and looking at the performance is everything. And that reflection process of knowing where we need to go and looking what was good and looking at the stuff where we need to get better. So for me, win, lose or draw, it's always going to be about the performance, because the players know where they need to go.
Peterborough United, of course, was our last home win here as well. What did you make of them that night when you were in the role that you were in? Yeah,
I mean, they were a very good side, and we defended really well that night, and we got the goals. They're clearly one of the best footballing sides in the league, and if you let them play, they can cause you all sorts of problems. So again, it's just about us going there. I don't care less that it's away from home. We're going to go there to stamp our identity on the game, because that's where we need to go, Rob. We need to build an identity on what we do. So going there, worrying about them, that's not going to happen. So all I'm asking the lads to do is just go there and be on the front foot, and let's keep building our identity. And what was so nice today is, there's been so much interaction with the players. We were working on certain things, and Woody stopped the session at one point and asked the question and said, but what if they do this? And then Joe stopped it at set pieces, and that's what you need. They play the game. They play the game at the end of the day, so you need that interaction, because clarity leads to performance. So if everyone's going out there clear on what they're doing, then that's another stepping stone to where we need to go to.
It is about, of course, as you say, very much about us, but you've got a very good analyst as well. What kind of things has he been kind of highlighting in the build up to this game? So
G's great, and we've Gonzalo, that is, sorry, and we've changed that slightly now, and we've got Andy in as well. So what I do, I let Rob, to be honest, deal with Gonzalo, because I know what I'm like, and we want to work on the 80% us, 20% them. So that's different for G. So his work now is really looking at the fine detail that you know, the things that they do that really hurt us. We know they're a good side. I know that. You know, no amount of clips is going to tell me any different. But it's looking at the detail of what's going to cause us problems, looking at what we do, and will that work against them? And if it don't, how we're going to rectify it. So I'm looking more for detail. So Rob knows how I work, so Rob sits in with G because he knows that I don't want to get engrossed in the opposition. So I trust them to give me the detail, you know, because accountability is key. And then we drip feed that into our 80%, if that makes sense. So we're working on us, and at the same time we're drip feeding the problems that they could possibly cause us.
So you're really starting to get into implementing the things you want to do now, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we need to, because this is our only free week. I mean, after this was Saturday, Tuesday for the next 5-6 weeks. So in terms of being out on the grass, it's going to be very, very limited. So this week was key to try and take it up another level. You know, but you're not going to get everything out in a week. And this is why I said it's so important that we attack it on the front foot, because if you don't, you've got nowhere to go. So if we're safe and we don't try and implement these things that the lads want to implement, you just come back, you've got nowhere to go.
Team news, what kind of shape is Shane McLaughlin out there today?
Yeah, so Shane, he was first session back today, which is great news. We was also hoping Ollie, but Ollie will possibly be back in tomorrow. So yeah, so we're good, we're getting there. Callum's got a slight tweak, but that's precautionary, Callum Ray, which is a real shame because I thought he did really well against Wigan. But again, I was so pleased because the lads know at the intensity we want to play at, and Callum was, you know, he was gutted to rule himself out. But he come and he said, look, I know where you want to go with this, and I don't think I can give you everything. And that's all you want. You want that honesty, because I trust them. They're not going to pull themselves out of football matches. But at the same time, I do want them to recognise that where we want to go and the levels of intensity where we go. And you can't do that if someone's 80%, 70%.
And your new striker out there today, Shayon Harrison, walking around with a big smile, enjoying his surroundings here.
Yeah, he's a really nice lad. Got a really good personality. He's attacking everything. He's looking sharper all the time. As I said, you know, I didn't know a lot about him when he came in, but he seems of really good character, and he's looking brighter and sharper all the time. So yeah, you know, he may well feature on Saturday, but I'm sure it won't be too far away if it's not Saturday.
Any other significant team news to report?
No, not really. Obviously, you know, we know Terrell's long term, but he come back and visited all the other day, which was great. It was great to see him because he's a brilliant personality. So yeah, he's come in the building, which was really nice. But no, nothing of significance at all. Young Zach is still a little bit away, but the rest of them look eager to get back in and get going.
Good to hear. Robbo, congratulations. Best of luck Saturday.
Thank you, Rob. Cheers.